Hi, it's Carol, and this is my bug assessment, and this is a plan of my garden and the bugs that I frequently find in my garden. I've got a few roses over here. Occasionally see lady beetles. I don't have a lot of problems with the roses generally, but I will occasionally find lady beetles, so I'm guessing there must be one or two aphids, although I don't usually actually see them. The next to the roses is the veggie garden. There's lots of earthworms in there, a lot of hungry general green grubs. I don't know, they only have a bit of a munch out of things. I don't have a big problem. We coexist. I just soak my vegetables before I cook them and pick the grubs off. Then we have just a few shrubs along the fence. There's a lot of spiders hiding in all the fence panels and also over the shrubs. And whenever I dig up around the shrubs, I get a lot of white curl grubs as well. The birds seem to love them. I throw them up and they come down and get them. There's compost bins in amongst the shrubs. There's a lot of, I don't know, they look a bit like cockroaches, but I don't think they are. There's some kind of brown bugs that aren't in big numbers, but whenever I disturb it, there seems to be that's a predominant thing. The same brown bugs are actually over here in the worm farm. When I take the lid up, quite often they run away. The lawn's full of crickets. It's deafening here at night, and probably some of those curled grubs as well if I dug it up. Down towards the back, we've got the garage. That's got an awful, frightening amount of spiders and cockroaches in there. I just could try to ignore that. Outside the garage is my lemonade tree, and that is just infested with stink bugs. I pick those off by hand, but I never win. The lemonade tree this year also has something eating the fruit on the inside. It's the first year I've had a problem, and I've only noticed it in about the last few weeks when I cut open the fruit. So I'm going to have to investigate what it is that's getting in and ruining the fruit, because I actually like that tree. It's quite old and I've always enjoyed it. Then there's the worm farm. There's all kinds of little critters living in there, little bugs and tiny little things running around. Most common thing there, though, that's visible are the slugs and those flat brown bugs that are about, I don't know, I guess maybe 2 centimetres long at their biggest, but they're a light brown. Look a bit like a German cockroach, but a bit bigger, but I don't know. There's not that many. I just ignore them, really. The pots, every pot I move has got slugs underneath. Everything I move in the garden, really, slugs just... the animal cage, of course, leaving a bit of food that stays around, that brings the cockroaches. That's pretty much all the bugs that I regularly see. The front of my house faces the east and sort of runs across there to the west, north and south that way. Most of the winds here are nor'easterly, but because this garden isn't to scale and it's quite a narrow block with colorbond fences, there's not a lot of wind. I don't have a lot of problems with wind coming through. The sun, of course, just moves sort of diagonally across the block during the day. And that's about the extent of all the bugs that I notice regularly in the garden. I don't know whether cockroaches are bad. There's a few others. I think perhaps my neighbours might use a lot of pesticides, because I have a strangely few snails now. I used to be forever picking the snails off everything, but it's a bit suspicious that I don't ever really see a snail now. And even the spiders are rare. I usually, like, coming into the hot night, start getting the big orb weaver spiders with their big sticky webs that build across the garage door in the dark. I haven't, same with the St Andrews cross spiders. I haven't seen them. I don't know whether this is a decline in spider numbers generally in urban areas, or whether it's just a local thing with my neighbours using a lot of pesticides that are having that flow-on effect into my yard, which would be pretty disappointing. But yeah, the bugs in my garden have changed. So my biggest bugs and pests I would see would be snails and the big spiders. And odd, I haven't seen them around for maybe the last couple of years. So I'm suspicious of my neighbour both neighbours have very well tended gardens. So I suspect that may not be a very good sign. But that's my garden, and it's the bugs I've found in it. Thank you.